Hi there, this is a quick video on how to use the contractor payment features in RazorpayX Payroll. Right? So, as you would know, under people, we have two types of people. One is an employee, the other one is a contractor. An employee is anyone who has an annual CTC, and there are certain salary compliances like PF, PT and salary TDS, Form 16s, etc. Those come into picture for employees. Contractors are individuals who do not have an annual CTC. They might give you an invoice and you need to make a payment, and there would be a non-salary TDS that is deducted for them. Right? These could be professional services, contractors, your landlord, could be your CA firm, anyone. Right? So whenever you add a new employee, you can set the type from an employee or to a contractor. So if you notice, I already have 5 contractors here. So let's go to the Pay Contractors tab. I'm logged in as an administrator, so I have admin options available to me. So under Pay Contractors, I'm shown a list of all the contractors that I have set up in the system. Each contractor, of course, gets to log in. They key in their bank account information, PAN card, and all of that. So let's select a contractor. They would have sent me an invoice. I could add that invoice here. I could select the payment date. This is when the payment would get processed, right? Let's key in an invoice date. Again, this is very, very critical. So for example, if I select 30th April as the invoice date, if there is a TDS component, it would get paid as part of April TDS, which means I would pay the TDS before May 7th, right? Now, if you select the invoice date as May 1st, right, that means that the TDS would be paid for the month of May, which means that we would make the payment before June 7th, right? So ensure that the invoice date is accurate so that the TDS can be paid accurately. You also have an option to repeat payments. For example, if you have a contractor who needs to be paid monthly, or similarly a CA who needs to be paid quarterly, or a landlord, right? So you could set up all of these different types of schedules. Let's go ahead and stick with a single payment right now. Let's add an amount. I'll say 65,000. Now this tax column is not for TDS, it is specifically for GST, VAT, sales tax, etc. Whereas the amount would be the total amount on the invoice, right? Including all of the taxes. Now if it's a business, there would be a GST, etc. You could add that here. If it's an individual, this would be 0, right? Because there would be no tax or GST or VAT, etc. for an individual. Add a remark. So let's say professional services. Ensure that you select the right payment purpose, right? All of these are hyperlinked, so you could go and read about them on our blog. But once you select the right purpose, we automatically calculate the TDS on this 65,000, right? So you don't have to enter TDS anywhere, as you can see, right? So just select the right payment purpose, and this is the 10%. If it was my landlord, I would select rent of land, building, furniture. If it's an intern and if it's below 30,000 as a stipend, I could just select 0% TDS as well. So let's select professional services, click on pay them, and you can see that on 65,000, 10% is being calculated as TDS. So once I confirm this payment, obviously this payment will not go through because the contractor does not have a PAN. So unless it's updated, it will not go through. But once I confirm this payment, essentially what I'm asking the system to do is pay this particular contractor 58,500 and pay the government 6,500 as TDS on this particular invoice, right? So I could click on confirm payment, and you can see that we will process this as long as there is balance. And of course, this will not go through because there is no PAN. And of course, this will also show up in upcoming payments. Another interesting thing that we have is every contractor gets to log in. Right now I see this option as payslips, but a contractor would see something called as requests for payment. And essentially, it's the same screen as this that you see here, except that they will not be able to see the drop down. They will just add an invoice and raise a request to you, and you would get it as a payment request. So if you go here, you can see that there are 2 contractors who have raised 1,50,000. They've added an invoice as well. I could click on this, it would open an invoice, right? Similarly, I can see the total amount and the TDS. If I want to make the payment, I just select the particular payment request and click on approve and pay, and automatically the contractor gets paid. There is an email notification that goes out, and if there is TDS, we will take care of that TDS as well. So once we pay the TDS, if you go to reports and if you go to TDS, you will find non-salary TDS as a particular detail for all of these, and you will be able to find the challans. If there are any questions on this, do reach out to us and we would be happy to guide you.